Welcome to the next episode of VGXL. I'm your host, Daniel, aka Games, and joining us today again is Fefer from the channel Fefer. How you doing, Fefer?
I'm fantastic. How are you? Thank you for having me again.
I'm doing great. So we wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit special. I wanted to have Fefer on, just me and her, and this may lead to bigger and better things regarding Fefer. So thank you for everybody who's joined us in the chat. If you're watching this on the VOD, on YouTube, or listening on Anchor, on the audio only, this is live, so we may be talking to the audience, we may be not. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to go from there. So I thought, as you guys already know, Fefer plays a lot of indie games, and we were thinking about, having a bigger discussion. There were some things we were talking about off screen, and I thought it'd be a good idea for us to record that. But before we move on to that, if you're not already, for anybody, again, listening on the recording, definitely give us a follow at Video Games X Life or the VGXL podcast, or, VGXL podcast on Twitter, or you can watch on my streams, Video Games X Life. And where can we find you, Fefer?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Fefer, twitter.com/FeferPlays, Instagram.com/Fefer_plays. No, actually, I just changed that. Fefer Plays.
Oh, that's right. You did change that.
TikTok also Fefer_plays, and Fanhouse at Fefer.
Ooh, Fanhouse. Oh, wait, that's safe for work, isn't
Get
it?
your mind out of the gutter.
Oh, man.
No toe pictures there.
No feet pics? Oh, that's safe for work, though. Got to make that money, But yeah, so normally on the channel, like I said, we normally, if you've been listening to us, we normally talk about a lot of more mainstream gaming, with some...
What the hell is that?
That's not your phone? That's your phone.
Why the hell is my phone doing things?
What the hell just happened?
I don't know what's playing on my phone. Okay, we're going to close everything. I have no idea what was playing.
Right? What the hell was that?
That was spooky.
It was super random, but it was very magical.
It was magical, but it's really weird because honestly, I'm going to be straightforward. I was listening to Lionel Richie before, so that's the last thing that I had on YouTube. So, the last random thing on your YouTube is usually what starts playing. So I have no idea what the hell that was. I
don't know, but Nine said someone wants their feet pics, and that's what got the phone singing.
Oh, all right. It said feet pics.
Right? It's like, did you say feet pics?
And go.
Right? So anyway, like we were just that was wild. So like I said, normally on VGXL we talk a lot about more mainstream games, more things that are AAAs and things like that, and we sprinkle in some indies. We brought you on several times to discuss more indie style games, and that's what I noticed. That's what you play a lot on your streams, right? Like you normally.
I love them.
Go for indies. Any particular reason why you geared towards indies versus bigger titles?
I feel like they just I love my AAA games, the ones that I really get into, all the Ubisoft, Wildlands kind of stuff, adventure stuff. But I don't know, I've just taken a liking to indie games. They've got a different feel to them. A lot of them have a narrative kind of thing that gets you in the feels, or they add a different, I don't know, just the developers, I just kind of lean forward to the indie scene because they've got something different going on. I don't know.
Right.
They got different ideas and stuff.
That's awesome. And you're right. I mean, I agree with that. Like video games, indie games are a lot, you get a different experience there. A lot of times where AAAs are safe, indies are more experimental.
Exactly.
You'll get long experiences, short experiences, micro 15-minute experiences, and
exactly.
You get there's a lot more variety.
Exactly. AAA, they have the whole everything just kind of step by step. It's all calculated.
Right.
They know what's good, what's popular, and then they just kind of go with that, and then they change the story a tiny bit. put a bunch of busy work and change it all, and boom, money.
Right, exactly.
Different skins, all that. And
Right,
let's go.
microtransactions.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's like where you do get more, I guess, more explosive, big scenes, but like, where wildness in an indie game, and obviously they have much bigger teams that can take, do things that a smaller team typically can't do.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they have to stick to a formula or stick to what works or what's safe, what's proven to work, or whatnot.
I feel like it takes a different kind of talent to do indie games, because you have tons of people that are like you said, one man teams.
Right.
They put out stuff for game jams. They'll have like a 3-day game jam, and then they'll have some fun little game that they make up that's really cool. They just kind of, they fabricate it so quickly and so well, and like sometimes it just gets popular, and I don't know, quality over the AAA crap. Sometimes.
Right.
I mean, it's not crap, but you know what I mean.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
I mean, it goes both ways, right? Like some indies are like not that great,
Yes.
the
Yes.
same way, that's why, and I think that's why it gets a bad rap. I wish indie games did get, a little bit more attention or things like that. But there is a lot. It's easy to make a game nowadays, like you said, and just throw it on Steam or throw it on a mobile phone or something like that. So yeah, it gets real quick, real easy to like just have garbage, So
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, Monkey in the chat, she's asking like, what's one of your favorite indie games that you've played this year, or of all time, rather?
Um,
And of all
honestly, what really, it's so weird because I've always been such a scaredy cat with horror games, which is kind of what we were gonna lean into in this episode. But I recently played Bloodwash, and I really liked it.
Yes.
It's a scary game, and from Puppet Combo. It was made by Henry Hoare and the Black Eyed Priest, aka Jordan King, and it just recently released, I think, at the end of September, and it was so good. It looked like an old 70s 80s flick. It was all fuzzy. It gave you the old feels, and the atmosphere was just perfect. It kept you scared, and it had the jump scares, but it wasn't cheesy.
Right.
It was really good. And I'm not one to really be like, I love horror games, even though I have been leaning into them more.
Right.
But I really liked it. So weird. It feels out of character.
No, I get it. Just try to turn when you talk to, so we can see that
Hi.
beautiful face of yours.
Sorry,
it
I'm
sucks.
talking to you here.
It sucks because it's live, so it's like I gotta do like things I can edit out later. Now it's like you guys got to see me direct in real time, and it's weird. I definitely got to get used to this. But no, that's awesome. I watched you play that, and normally I'm in your chat, and if I was in your stream, every single night I'd have no free time, right? It'd be like my stream time plus me watching your entire stream.
Yeah.
So sometimes I definitely like to sit there and watch you play, or at least listen to things you're saying, especially if you need help or something like that. But that game, I got stuck watching you play. Like I actually legit was like trying to play something else, and I'm just like, what the hell? And like Bloodwash was so much fun to watch.
It kept you on your toes
Yeah.
with all the different things that they really brought up. I don't even want to say anything because I definitely recommend it if anybody wants to go and play it on their own. I definitely recommend it. It's like not even $10. I think it's like $9. And it's such a good playthrough. It's like, 4 hours? Not even, like 3 hours. It was like 2.5 hours. It really depends on how long you take, how scared you are, and how slow you go through it.
Right.
But it's definitely a fun game to play. Definitely recommend.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because like, so part of what I want to discuss today is just like, or what you actually brought up, while we were writing out the outline and getting ready for this episode, was that there's a lot of PS1 style games. Like now these games are it's like I never thought, right? Because you have all these like through the 2010s into the 20 teens up until today, a lot of games when the indie explosion started and got bigger and bigger, especially in the PS4 era, and things like that. A lot of things were 2D. So you had a lot of Zelda clones and a lot of side scrollers. You had things like Shovel Knight, that mixed a lot of genres together, and a lot of stuff is 2D. And I thought, 2D is what you call timeless, right? Like you can go back and play Super Mario World, and that game still looks fabulous today.
Yes,
As long as it's not blurry or something like that, it still looks amazing. Like, it's very colorful. The sound quality is great. Zelda, like Super Nintendo style games, really can be timeless, especially the ones that were done right, and especially the ones that were fun as well. So, but graphically, they're very timeless games. So, with that being said, I always thought like you would never like PlayStation 1 looks ugly. You go back to a PlayStation 1 title.
It's clunky.
Yeah, it's all blocky and the acting was horrible, but just sticking to graphics, it was just blurry and blocky, and you only had the only thing that was maybe decent was like the pre-rendered backgrounds, but the character models were always really bad. I mean, look at Final Fantasy VII, where they literally had no fingers. They had blocks for hands, and that used to be called super deformed, whatnot. And now to see like these indie games, like something like Bloodwatch, that was actually really interesting. It was I gotta say, it really was a fun watch. I would have never thought that a PlayStation 1, I never thought that any developer would stylize their game to look like a PlayStation title. I thought that was a dead, a dead art form, and now it's used, I just thought it was a dead form because it was the limitations at the time. You know what I mean? Versus now where it's like, why would you make your game look like that? I mean, it just didn't make sense. So seeing you playing that, it was amazing. And then we have something like Valheim. Valheim sold 5 million copies in 5 weeks.
Valheim's crack.
Exactly.
It's so good.
And it looks like an old PlayStation 1 game.
It's so simple looking, but it gives you that fun busy work, satisfying busy work.
Right. The core gameplay is fun because graphics really don't matter when the core gameplay is fun. I think that's like a really big deal. Like, I think that's freaking awesome.
No, that's definitely. You have your goal. Like, you have to make armor. Then you have to go fight the stuff, and the sounds are satisfying. You got little ASMR going. You're
exactly.
And then you have to run from the troll or whatever. But then you're getting stuff done. You get your goal done, and you're armored up, and you fight the bosses. And
exactly.
It's not even ugly to look at the game. It's quite for the old style. It's really still nice looking.
It's true, because I think one of the greatest things about it is the fact that it uses modern lighting. So but the same way you have something like Shovel Knight that looks like a Nintendo game, but from the music to how many colors are on screen, you couldn't do a lot of that during on the NES. Like you only had like 4 colors could be on screen at once, and they used a lot of tricks to manipulate that so they could have more than 4 colors, using background tiles, using stuff like that, where now you can take that style and modernize it, have more colors, but still have that blocky kind of pixely look, and makes for a beautiful game. So it's and they call it stylized or whatever. So I think that was really really interesting. Is there any other game that you played recently that has PlayStation 1 like graphics like that?
So another game that also came from Puppet Combo, that actually was developed by Puppet Combo, was Murder House. I actually just beat that a few days ago. What's today?
Saturday.
Yeah, a few days ago. Yeah. And it's got the same kind of thing. You're a TV crew that goes into this house that the Easter Bunny murderer grew up in, and of course stuff starts happening in there. I'm not gonna spill the details on that one too much, but it's got the same style. You have options for like VHS graininess. You want the HD, you can just take that all out and you can play it in HD. So you have all that option.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then if you want more lines, if you want it in black and white, you have that option too to play through it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's really cool. So you have that option to have whatever kind of quality, the old 70s VHS kind of thing. And it plays like it. When it starts loading in, you have like the blue screen, like, this is a Puppet Combo video game, and it's cool. And then you have all the at the end, all the credits and stuff. It's funny because Murder House last year, Puppet Combo, they had a Patreon open for everybody to help out so they can make games each month.
Right.
So they can release these PS1/PS2 style games each month. And what ended up happening, they released Murder House last year in October. That was a big hit. Now it's actually on consoles now. It just came out on consoles recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And but what's been happening is that they turned into a publishing company now. So it's separate. Now it's Torture Star Video. And that's Torture Star Videos who published Bloodwash.
Okay.
So that's how that happened. So that's kind of like from there.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you had mentioned something about like them. I didn't know that they. Okay. So they went from making games to publishing.
Yeah, they ended up publishing more other developers that have that same style.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that's how Devolver, the guys who created Devolver, I'm pretty sure that's how they started. Like
that makes sense.
They made games and then they realized that there was something to that or whatever, and then they ended up going to publish, helping like fund and publish other smaller developers like themselves.
That's
something
awesome.
like that. I know I'm missing some details there, but I know for a fact that it was something like that. That's really awesome. It's cool because when, like you said, the way you can change the style from like more of an HD or go to the low res. The game that I played, Mortal Shell actually does that. There's a retro mode or whatever, and
cool.
it goes into like a super pixelated, like it gives you better frame rate, if you want that super fast frame rate or whatever. But they call it retro mode, but that's because it goes into like 480, like a 480p looking, and I'm like, so it's cool. I like those kinds of options. It would be awesome if they did more games like that. I know like I think the people do Dragon Quest. I think they do the same thing. Like they have the game is fully rendered in 3D, but you can play it like in RPG Maker looking graphics. Yeah,
that's so cool.
So it'll be, and it's not even like it's 3D like they're just small sprites that go from 3D to 2D. No, it's like the full like, I don't know, like it's like thinking let me see, like playing like Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know how that looks all like the way you're third person and all that.
Yeah.
And then pressing a button and switching to 2D. That's what I mean? Like that's pretty awesome. I think like more companies should do stuff like that. Give you two styles. I mean that's a lot more.
I mean that's definitely a lot more work that they've got to put into that to even make that possible. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah,
but I
think
feel like what really makes it popular is just that you remember these games from the PS1, PS2 era, and you have that nostalgia. It gives you that old look, the old feels. You remember being like 12 again, like and being there. Like let's say I remember playing Klonoa when I was younger. It gives you that pixelated feel, and it just kind of takes you back, and it just gives you that warm feeling inside.
Right. No, it's true. It's something that I feel like that's these games were literally made for our generation or whatnot. And I would love to see more stuff done like that. That would be super awesome to see more stuff done like that. But yeah, was there anything else that you played this year, or not necessarily played, but like PlayStation 1 style? That was it, right?
I think that might have been it. I was looking into that demo disc you had actually mentioned with the PS1 styled games, because when I was looking for games to play,
right?
Like good horror games. Some of those, that PS1 demo looking disc that you had mentioned was on the list. A few of the games on there were listed, so I want to actually look into those.
Yeah, no, like you've gotten me like really intrigued or whatnot. In looking into more game styles like that, like I said, like after you said that, you've been seeing more of that, I'm like, it's true. Like one of the biggest games this year looks like a PlayStation 1 game. So it's like, that's really interesting.
Exactly.
Monkey's asking, do you prefer an indie game to have better mechanics, story, or visuals, since most don't have all three?
I guess story. Oh, but mechanics. But damn. That's hard to choose. I don't know. I guess I go for the story more. I love a good story. But I love my platforming, so good mechanics in there are always I guess it's a tie, but
I think I think story and visuals. I mean, story and mechanics first
yeah,
for me, and then visuals.
visuals or whatever.
Yeah, visuals can come later, right?
We've dealt with the old really grainy ass stuff, so that doesn't make a difference to me. I've never been a visual HD kind of influence on anything. Like, can I play it? What's the story like? What are the mechanics? Because even let's say Murder House and Bloodwash, it also kind of plays with the janky feel to it in the mechanics. Like I was having a tough time running in Murder House because of the way it was set up, and
Right.
but it added to it. It made it that much more charming.
It's true.
You know, like, oh no, I can't run. I'm going into a wall. I'm dead. You know.
It's funny that you say that because playing something like when I played Silent Hill a few months back,
Exactly.
and I streamed it. It was for being such an old game, the reason it's such a classic is because even with those old graphics, the atmosphere, the music, and then just the mechanics were just fun. Even though it was a little bit wonky and whatnot, as long as the controls are decent in a game and the mechanics are fun to do, I mean, it got to keep you coming back, right?
Exactly.
But then story does pull you back in. You know what I mean? It's like there's a reason why you want to continue. And it gives you purpose. So I think story does, for me, has always been a fairly big part. Now, what I will say is that sometimes better graphics can make it, really bring it all together because then you're fully immersed.
Yeah.
And yeah. So another example that I want to talk about with graphics that not really mattering is Monster Hunter Rise.
Yes.
Like that came out on Switch.
Yes.
And it's like going from looking at Monster Hunter World on PC to seeing a similar game, but not now like low res. It was a little hard on the eyes and whatnot, but honestly I would have preferred a faster frame rate over the higher resolution in my opinion. But the game was just that much fun. It was so fun that
Exactly.
it was very easy to overlook that.
That's where the mechanics come in, and
Right.
the actual, not necessarily the full-on story, but that's more of a mechanics kind of game.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
that one's
absolutely, because
definitely-
there is no story. There's barely a story.
I was gonna say, no, there isn't too much of it. You have the different side quests and the people talking, and then you got the cats and stuff and all that stuff. Of course, that's always fun.
Who
Cats
doesn't
are
love
always
cats?
a win. Yeah.
Exactly.
Can I pet the animals? Yes. Okay. 10 out of 10. We'll pet again.
Exactly. No, that's definitely but it's definitely true. Like the mechanics definitely do are definitely what makes you want to continue playing the game or whatnot. Now Rise is coming to PC, and I'm super excited about that because now you get the full package. Now you get the super fun game. Well, I guess the DLC will add more story, but then you get the amazing graphics that PC can offer, and that's what I'm like really excited for when it comes to that. But are there any other PC games that you're looking for? Not PC, indie games that you're looking forward to this year that's like on your mind or?
I'm actually still in the middle of trying to catch up on things. Like I just finished Deltarune Chapter 1.
Okay.
And I'm still in the beginning of Chapter 2. And then Halloween and the enthusiasm to try to do things for Halloween kind of kicked in. And then
Right.
I've been playing horror games ever since.
That's true. I know some people. I haven't been caring for your choice of horror games, but
Sorry, monkey.
but no, that's awesome. Yeah, I've been kind of slacking on the indie games there. Because right now I'm playing in the middle of Far Cry, so and I never played Far Cry, so I wanted to finally it's just Ubisoft, the first person shooter.
No, of course.
You know.
They've got it down packed.
Yeah.
Side story, pew pew pews, dramatic stuff.
Right.
Explosions, and you can drive around.
It's just formulaic. If they weren't so formulaic like that, they really have some great ideas because there's like little details that you would normally see in like an indie game. Like for example, when you jump into a car, one of my favorite little details is that when you jump into a car that plays music, a lot of times the main character, I picked the female because she's badass.
Yeah.
She'll start singing. You know what I mean? To the song playing. And I think that's awesome. Those little
Exactly.
details.
Those are little details that I mean, you can see them in indie games too. I feel like you get that a lot more in like Ubisoft kind of things because
Right.
they like to have fun with it. They have, like you said, the formula down, so they can kind of tinker around with the other little things,
Right,
between
exactly.
the alligator and their names and the little outfits that they have or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the charms between your dashboard. I don't know, whatever. The tiny things, and you're like, oh, it's a quick Easter egg for you. Like, oh, look at that, so cool. Okay, keep it moving.
Exactly. Um, what else? So, is there any other? So, what are you looking for? What are you going to be playing next, or
You know
streaming
what?
next?
I'm not quite sure. Oh, actually, next week I'm taking a break from horror games.
Oh, there you go, monkey.
There is an event that's coming up next week. I cannot speak of it as of yet. It is currently a secret.
Okay.
So yeah, so I can't say anything until they say stuff.
Okay.
So
Oh, look at you with your NDAs and your little secret projects you got going on. Sure. You gotta fill us in. Fill us in. All right. So I'll be
you
looking.
can come by on Wednesday. I'll be live on Tuesday, but it'll start on Wednesday.
Wednesday. All right.
Yeah.
Bet. I think we talked about that on one of the streams of Miss Boss Monkey. There's asking like what defines an indie game too. So it's like, is it if they don't accept money for development or money for development or what?
I guess a smaller team. It feels like. I mean, it's hard to say because then.
Hold on. Let's see.
What's going on? Oh, the audio issues.
Hello. 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 Hey.
Hi.
Hey. Oh, it does sound double, right?
Oh, that's weird. Yes.
Talk.
Hi. Hello. That's so weird. Ow. Don't mind me. Hello. Hi. How are you?
That's really weird because I see that there was another channel there. It's fixed, right? Why did it do that?
Fixed, right?
That's weird. What the hell is going on with this freaky stream?
That doesn't make any sense because we weren't double before, and it was an extra line of audio on the bottom there that it picked up. It had two microphones on it all of a sudden. All right.
The ghosts are against us. I know. I'm over here trying to make sure we're not getting banned like Amaranth and stuff.
I know.
And yes, Monkey, I'm over here taking myself out with the microphone.
Well, okay. Where were we? So secret streams. Oh yeah.
Indie game.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
makes?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that kind of goes into what an indie game or even an indie dev is. I guess the smaller teams. I mean, even what is it? Fall Guys with
Right.
Mediatonic and them getting taken by Devolver and stuff. I mean, that's like Fall Guys is still an indie game. I guess. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, really.
Well, I
I
mean,
think it's
yeah.
smaller teams, smaller everything in
Yeah,
the
smaller
start.
budget.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because it's become a style now. So pretty much, I mean, indie is either it is or it isn't, right? So it's
Yeah.
either independent. Usually, it's independent of a big publisher, right? So you have your own funding, or maybe you gathered money on your own, or you're working with a very small like publisher, to bring the game out. But then you have indie style games where you're using the limitations that most independent developers use, but you're still backed by a huge studio. So like, for example, that World War I game, the one that the boy beat.
Valiant Hearts.
Valiant Hearts, thank you. Valiant Hearts. That was Ubisoft, and Ubisoft was trying to dabble.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were trying to dabble in the indie scene a little bit.
That's really cool.
And it's an amazing game.
I know. I still need to finish that.
You should play it. You should really play it because it's a very emotional game. It tells you it's a history lesson on top of that, and then you have like the nice puzzles. It's and all that, but super emotional.
I remember I kind of started it a little bit, but I know the boy finished it, and I'm down to give that another.
You should totally play it because while that's indie style, it's not and then you have things like I forgot the name of it. It's the one. It was like a historical kind of like a historical accuracy. I forgot the name. But yeah, it was like, 3D first person, I believe. Took place in like, I don't know, like the 16 or 1700s or something like that. And it was a independent studio, but it looked like a AAA game, and it charged a AAA price on top of that. Oh. So, like I said, so it's like indie has become synonymous with just like, I guess, simpler looking games, and things like that. So I guess it's really, like I said, it's either it's independent or a smaller budget or it's not, and, then you have like I said, you can have bigger publishers deal with that. Not The Plague, thank you, Yeti, but The Plague is another one. That's what you call double A. So then you're getting to more.
Plague's Tale, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that one, but that's like one that was like, even though it wasn't a AAA game, very well done, very nice graphics.
That story going with the mechanic on there.
Exactly.
Save the brother, right? It was
Yeah, with the little boy, Then you have things like Senua Sacrifice or whatever, which was an independent studio, but they start calling them double A. So I think it's really just style. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how the industry is defining, what's indie, what's triple A, and what's double A, right? So indies, indie is usually, your 2D games and your simplified games, your short games. Then you have double A games, which is like a little bit higher, slightly higher budget, bigger team, things like that. So, and that's another thing that you should keep an eye out for. This is just my own suggestion or opinion here. Just double A games, like the middle shelf, like something that that has those 3D. Those bigger effects and things like that, but are made by smaller teams. So, those
definitely.
That's back on the rise, thankfully, because we had those in the PS2 era and it started to die out in the PS3 era, and then hardly had any of that in the PS4 era till now. Like now towards the end now we have more double A games like A Plague's Tale or whatnot, which is very fun. If you haven't played the first Plague's Tale, I highly recommend that game. That game is very fun and very interesting, and there's definitely going to be more, so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm sure, yeah.
I think we're almost ready to wrap it up. So any plans for the future? I know you got a lot's changed. Do you want to share some of that? Share.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm obviously still going to continue streaming. I know I've mentioned it on my streams before. I do owe the community a cooking stream, so we're gonna do a cooking stream sometime soon. Maybe that'll open up to do more cooking streams. I've been, I guess, with the face painting and stuff. Monkey. With the face painting and stuff, I've been, I don't know, wanting to do a little more cosplay stuff. Ooh. So maybe we'll get into that. I have lots of ideas. I like art things. I have paints. I have easels. I have lots and lots of things that I have to just try to incorporate.
Okay.
So I have lots of ideas, but I just need to get them out there slowly but surely. Hopefully more content on all platforms.
And what about this here? Are you enjoying your time?
I am enjoying my time here. Yes, definitely. So, I mean, maybe I know you and I have been discussing something more in regards of the VGX Fefer kind of thing going on. So, I mean, maybe this will be more of a thing too.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see. I think you should definitely branch out into more talk. But that's definitely up to you. We'll keep working on that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's practice makes perfect. Yes, my first few times on the VGXL podcast were not the best.
A little quiet. A little quiet. They were a little quiet.
I'm trying to be nice to myself and not say terrible. But
nah, quiet is not necessarily terrible.
but yeah, I mean, hopefully again, practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
A little more, a few more times doing this, maybe I'll get a little more comfortable and we'll chat it up.
Absolutely.
I mean, starting the stream got me out as a clown, so.
Exactly. I've told people, it's like 3 years ago before you started streaming, I would have never ever thought you would be here right now doing the things that you're doing. So
me neither.
So no, it's true. It's like we all have to start somewhere, and I commend you in this journey. You've really come a long way. You've really grown into yourself on stream and come out of your shell. As the quiet Fefer that I met 15 years ago, almost 16 in January.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're old.
I know. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the future. I can't wait to see what you have in store. And here at VGXL, we do have a lot more things planned, so be on the lookout for that. If you guys aren't already aware, we're working with the Idiot Ezra podcast, more collaborations, and I think those are going to blow up soon.
Absolutely.
So everybody in the chat, thank you so much. You guys are the reason why we do this. It's the reason why we're trying harder every day, and we're trying to grow and change and evolve. And I really appreciate everybody who shows up to mine and Fefer's chats. Like, absolutely. Like you guys are literally the reason why we do this.
Y'all are the MVP.
Exactly. Because I'm like, it would be a lot harder if we had absolutely nobody, here to cheer us on. So the fact that you guys show up, bother us, come to the movie night, in about 45 minutes.
Yes.
We have to start wrapping it up.
We're cutting it close.
Yeah. And we're hitting the 40-minute mark just like I want to. So, like I said, this is a good practice run. And, like I said, keep on the lookout. This is an official episode of VGXL. If you haven't listened to 38 came out today. If you want to hear Ezra's debut he's going to probably be more and more on the podcast. And we're going to see a lot more Fefer and hopefully something separate from VGXL podcast. So be on the lookout for that, everybody. So any last words, anything you want to say before we head out?
Please be kind, rewind.
Oh, yeah. It's a great way to stay in shape. All right. Well, that's it for episode 39. Yeah, episode 39 of the VGXL podcast. Again, hopefully we'll have this up, in the next few days. And have a good night.
Good night. Thanks.